Hello, my name is Taeyoung Kim, and I'm glad to give our research project today. Our title is The Effect of Aerobic Exercise in Participants Wearing Sportswear and Cardiopulmonary Function Change. I'm Taeyoung Kim, and our co-authors are Hae-Gyung Yoon and Kyung-Yae Hyun. Effect of regular exercise. Physiological changes due to the contraction and relaxation. Various changes according to the contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle and the internal and external circulation of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the lungs. Changes in blood pressure and pulse due to changes in breathing. Improving the prevalence of chronic degenerative diseases such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes, and arthritis. Cardiovascular risk factors: reduction of cholesterol and triglyceride, HDL cholesterol control, and non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus and direct relevance. Effect of wearing sportswear prevents injury, increases the amount of oxygen supplies to the muscles to speed up the blood circulation, and maximize the effect of exercise by increasing the body's warm-up and recovery speed. The purpose of this study is to perform a functional evaluation of the heart and lung when performing regular exercise with sportswear. Research subjects: the volunteers of the D college student in B region. Participants were a total of 39 healthy college students, all in their 20s. 21 female and 19 male students. We restricted those who have cardiovascular disease, metabolic disease, musculoskeletal disorders, and respiratory system disease. And personal medical history, such as the presence of training experience related to our respiratory muscles, and those who have had surgery in the last 6 months. So we restricted these participants or these students from having participating the study. The body characteristics of the research subjects is summarized in Table 1. So the age and body weight and height. Moderate intensity aerobic exercise, medium intensity aerobic exercise indicates the level of psychological or physical burden experienced according to the level of physical activity or to perform the exercise. When the intensity of awareness at rest is 1 and the highest intensity that one can perform or the highest intensity that can be tolerated is set to 10, breathing is a bit short, and the intensity of awareness between 5 and 6 is called moderate intensity aerobic exercise. The degree to which the average pulse rate increases 30 to 50 beats is called moderate intensity exercise. Moderate intensity aerobic exercise masters two-step. The two-step divides by master, or 22.5 centimeters, 9 inches high, and 25 centimeters, 10 inches deep, and 60 centimeters, 24 inches wide. Exercise method is after ascending and descending their stairs 3 times for 3 minutes, each according to the rhythm. After resting for 10 minutes, electrocardiogram and lung function were analyzed. The method of circulating the number of rise in the metronome is as follows. Y equals m times 60 over 90 multiplied by 5. Y is the number of metronome per minute. M is the number of times the master ascend and descend in 90 seconds. And 5 is the number of steps taken. PT jump, basic posture. The distance between the legs is shoulder width apart, and the length and the height is 10 centimeter. First, while jumping lightly, spread both feet shoulder width apart, and at the same time extend both arms in a circular motion upwards and attaching them to the ears with the palms facing each other. Second, return to the attentive posture. Third, as in the first motion, spread both feet apart and raise both arms upwards. Return to the attentive posture in the same way as the fourth and second. The electrocardiography is measured using cardiopulmonary function measuring equipment. The name of equipment in the Bionet Cardio Touch 3000. The standard 12 induction was measured by setting a voltage of 10 millimeter per millivolt and the time of 25 millimeter per second. The standard 12 lead P wave, QRS group, T wave, and PQ segment, RR interval and PR interval, and QRS period and QTC were measured. P wave is the first positive sorry about that. P wave is the first positive wave that appears during the electrocardiogram, and it can be said that it is arterial wave generated by left and right arterial depolarization. In the case of amplitude, it has a characteristic that does not exceed 0.05, 0.25 millivolt for a normal person, and 2 millimeter for a standing waveform. QRS is called QRS group or QRS complex. arterial wave generated by left and right ventricle depolarization. The normal waveform is that Q wave is negative, and R wave is positive, and S wave is negative. Q, R, and S are also used to analyze the rotation of the heart by measuring the transition area in chest guidance. For normal person, the amplitude is 0.5 through 2.5 millivolt. And the time is 0.06 through 0.10 seconds for adults and 0.08 seconds for children. QTC is the corrected QT and represent the electrical ventricular systolic time. The range is the QT interval from the beginning of the QRS family to the end of the T wave. The normal time is usually normal for nights, shorter than half of the RR interval, and abnormal for longer than half. Because the QT interval is greatly affected by the heart rate, the RR interval is also used based on the heart rate of 60 beats. So this is how we measured. Then for ECG measurement in this study, bipolar lead induction was used. In bipolar induction, electrodes are connected to the left hand and right hand and left foot and right foot. Bipolar lead, one lead is left minus right, and two lead is right foot minus right hand, and three lead is left foot minus left hand. So two lead equals one lead plus three lead. So bipolar lead 2, which coincide with the direction of the heart electromotive force and appears the most, was used. Pulmonary function in the evaluation was measured using a portable spirometer. The figure shows the air volume for each section. At first, start with the normal breathing 2 to 3 times, and when the stable exhalation position is stable, the subject was asked to slowly inhale to the maximum inspiratory position. After that, slowly blow out the maximum exhalation position, and again, our measurement was conducted by inducing stable breathing 2 to 3 times, and the test was performed 3 times or more. This is the diagram showing a first Spermatory test. Like the slow Spermatory test, the effort Spermatory test was performed by biting a nose clip and the paper mouthpiece, taking 2 to 3 steady breaths, inhaling as quickly as possible, then exhaling rapidly and forcefully. The detailed time and interval are shown in the figure. The maximum ventilation capacity analysis is shown in the figure. The maximum ventilation is the value obtained by converting the amount of respiration obtained by the subject, breathing as quickly as deeply as possible, for 12 seconds in the amount of per minute, all measures in minutes. So we collected data in this way, and we performed the statistical processing as follows. So the result of experiments according to the presence or absence of sportswear. So this is our experimental design. So one group with sportswear and the other group without sportswear, and moderate intensity aerobic exercise, and they will analyze using statistical tools. Experimental results were expressed as a mean and standard deviation. So we are currently underway for the full-scale research. So here we just show the descriptive statistics. So there's no hypothesis, and there's no significance. So we just shows the descriptive values for now. So table 1 shows the analysis result of ECG waveform 10 minutes after the exercise, 10 minutes, and 1 hour. So I'll tell you the relevant results of the electrocardiogram as shown in the table in this study. The result of the change in the QTc and PR interval, which were not statistically significant, but showed significant change in the ECG waveforms before and after moderate intensity aerobic exercise. As a result of applying moderate intensity aerobic exercise for 5 weeks, the QTc value before exercise in the experimental group was 419.16 plus minus 21.978 seconds. Okay, so in this way, I'm gonna skip all the details of the electrocardiogram. This is the lung function result. So lung function results. The first one is slow vital capacity. So when comparing the slow spirometry before and after the exercise, the experimental group showed 4.775 plus minus 1.579 before exercise, and 4.46 plus minus 1.130 after the exercise. And the control group showed around 5 plus minus 0.8 before exercise, and after exercise 4.1 plus minus 1. So both the experimental group and the control group decreased, but the decrease in the experimental group was smaller than that of the control group. So we just find the this pattern, and IRB and ERB and FVC and PV, we follow the similar patterns. So this is our conclusion. The case of the ECG in this study, the result of QTC measured in 1 hour after 10 minutes after exercise was shortened in both the experimental group and the control group. Because the left ventricle wall is thick and the capacity is increased, in people with the exercise type heart, a large amount of blood can be expelled through one heartbeat. So even with the moderate intensity exercise, the heart rate slows down and the QTC value is prolonged. Through this, can be inferred that QTC value is prolonged during steady aerobic exercise. Also, unlike previous studies, in this study it was difficult to expect the effect of increasing lung function by short-term moderate intensity aerobic exercise. But when the decrease in the experimental group and the control group were compared, the decrease in the experimental group was smaller. It is that wearing sportswear had a positive effect on lung function values. In conclusion, it is thought that wearing compression sportswear and performing moderate intensity aerobic exercise has a positive effect on cardiopulmonary function improvement and increase the exercise effect. So this is presentation we have prepared. Thank you for your attention.